I'm noticing that, I'm having some anxiety. And when I check in with myself, I realize that I just haven't given myself the time to heal.
Have you ever wondered what really goes on behind Hollywood's velvet curtain? Sometimes it's not all glitz and glam, especially when shocking lawsuits, hidden agendas, and explosive accusations collide. Right now, one of the industry's most talked about legal battles involves producer-actor Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios clashing with actress-producer Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and their team. At first glance, it might look like a simple case of behind-the-scenes drama, but this feud has unleashed a whirlwind of controversy involving alleged harassment, extortion, and a judge who refuses to let anyone off the hook too easily. Strap in, because this is a ride that could change Hollywood's power dynamics forever. Justin Baldoni, known for his work both in front of and behind the camera, co-founded Wayfarer Studios to tell meaningful stories, projects capable of striking emotional chords with audiences worldwide. Initially, everything about the collaboration with actress Blake Lively seemed promising. She and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, have a reputation for turning film projects into box office hits. Together, it appeared like the perfect alignment of creative forces. But rumor has it that from the start, subtle friction lingered beneath the team's friendly surface. Whispers about script changes, last-minute demands, and conflicting creative visions slowly began to bubble up. People close to the production said the tension simmered just enough that those in the know felt uneasy, even if the public was blissfully unaware. Then came the bigger red flag. Allegations that these disagreements weren't just artistic differences, but pointed to deeper claims of harassment, intimidation, and potential manipulative tactics aimed at securing power over the project. Hollywood might be used to rumors of lawsuits and hush-hush settlements, but this time, things took an especially dramatic turn. By the time the story reached the public, it had grown into a layered saga involving everyone from PR reps and attorneys to well-known entertainment figures. Little did anyone realize, the real bombshell was still on its way. Insiders say the earliest sign of trouble came when rumors emerged about workplace discomfort and allegations that some cast or crew members felt pressured. Blake Lively purportedly voiced concerns about set conditions and raised questions to the higher-ups. Fans who love her for her confident public persona were stunned. Was she truly the victim in a hostile environment? Or was she leveraging a brand new legal climate, one that protects individuals exposing misconduct, to gain an advantage? Adding to the intrigue, Ryan Reynolds and Blake's PR strategist, Leslie Sloan, stepped in with statements that seemed more like carefully curated spin than transparent truth. Some speculated that Leslie's involvement escalated the situation, fueling bigger claims and turning what could have been a private settlement into a headline-generating fiasco. Suddenly, the press sniffed out a juicy story. If these harassment complaints had any merit, what might that mean for the reputations of Wayfarer Studios and Justin himself? On the flip side, voices from Justin's camp insisted the claims were exaggerated or even fabricated. Anonymous sources claimed that while there were initial creative disagreements common on any major production, those tensions were being used by certain parties to grab more control. Before viewers even had a chance to process these rumors, the conflict escalated into an avalanche of legal documents, each side presenting a drastically different perspective on who was exploiting whom. The turning point came when Justin and Wayfarer filed a formal complaint, accusing Blake and her associates of something far more serious: civil extortion. This meant they were alleging that Blake threatened to publicly declare wrongdoing unless Wayfarer granted her specific demands, ranging from special producer credits to final say over key elements of the film. Why is this so explosive? In the eyes of the law, it's one thing to report legitimate misconduct through appropriate channels. But if someone demands personal or professional benefits in exchange for withholding accusations, accurate or not, that can be considered extortion. If proven in court, this could set a dramatic precedent. Potentially, it might remind Hollywood players that brandishing serious claims solely to manipulate business deals violates more than just the industry's unwritten rules. It can be downright unlawful. Wayfarer and Justin's legal team pointed to emails they say prove these demands were made under a veil of threat. The emails allegedly describe the enormous pressure they felt if they didn't comply with certain requests, like giving Blake the prestigious Producers Guild of America, PGA, credit. She might reveal damaging claims about harassment or sabotage the film's release strategy. Blake's camp fired back, insisting she had every right to demand a safe workplace, emphasize creative integrity, and highlight the film's actual contributors. They dismissed the extortion angle as ridiculous, painting it as a desperate attempt to silence someone who dared to question improper conduct on set. While many defendants try to freeze a lawsuit in its tracks, hoping the judge dismisses it quickly, the presiding judge in this case took a different approach. Instead of letting the motion to dismiss press pause on all proceedings, he made a bold choice. He refused to halt discovery. In legal terms, discovery is the part of a case where each side must share relevant documents, emails, and other evidence that might support or contradict the claims. This denial of a stay on discovery was a monumental sign that the judge wanted both parties' accusations thoroughly examined. Traditionally, a motion to dismiss can slow everything down if a judge finds the claims are too weak. But in defamation and harassment suits, particularly with extortion claims swirling, judges often choose caution over speed. They're less inclined to drop the gavel on complicated allegations without fully reviewing them. In plain language, the judge signaled he's not convinced anyone should wiggle out of this case easily. Whether you're Blake Lively and her team, or Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios, you've got to bring proof or risk losing. Observers interpreted this move as the court saying, "Show me your cards. If you've got real evidence of wrongdoing, let's see it." Given how unpredictable defamation, harassment, and extortion claims can be, both teams quickly fortified their legal strategies. On Blake's side, attorneys tried to invoke newly bolstered protections in California, often linked to the broader #MeToo movement, arguing that you can't sue someone for defamation just because they made or intended to make harassment claims in good faith. If a person truly faced an unsafe environment, the argument goes, they shouldn't be muzzled or fear retaliation for speaking up. But Justin's team insists that Blake's pattern of demands goes well beyond good faith reporting. They say it's straightforward. She allegedly used sensitive allegations as a bargaining chip. In effect, they claim she threatened to trash reputations and derail the entire project unless her demands were met. Demands that included prestigious producer credits, editorial decisions, and possibly more influence over a film's final cut than she would have otherwise been granted. Leslie Sloan, the publicist who stood by Blake, soon found herself named in the crossfire. Wayfarer and Justin's filings claim Leslie used the press to spin one-sided stories that tarnished Justin's name. Meanwhile, Leslie fired back that everything she did was standard PR strategy. If a client endures real harm, any push to highlight that harm in public shouldn't be deemed defamation, especially if it's genuinely believed and not maliciously fabricated. With both sides claiming to have smoking gun evidence, like emails, text messages, and multiple eyewitness accounts, this isn't the kind of legal fight that evaporates quietly. And with major Hollywood stars' reputations on the line, no one wants to blink first. Instead, each new court filing ratchets the tension even higher, leaving both fans and industry insiders speculating which side, if any, stands on solid ground. Among the masses of streaming fans, red carpet junkies, and movie buffs, this case has created a vortex of curiosity. People can't help but wonder if these star-studded production battles happen all the time, but rarely see the light of day. Especially in an era that emphasizes accountability and transparency, the notion of extortion behind closed doors or weaponizing harassment claims sparks intense debate. Entertainment reporters are scrutinizing the case as a bellwether for how future disputes might play out. Could this lead to stronger standards for differentiating legitimate claims of misconduct from manipulative tactics? Or does it risk discouraging real victims from speaking out, fearful that they'll be labeled extortionists? At the same time, Wayfarer Studios has championed itself as a socially conscious production house. Their brand revolves around uplifting messages and philanthropic missions. If the allegations made by Lively's camp hold any water, it risks tarnishing the sense of trust that audiences had in Wayfarer's brand. On the other hand, Blake Lively, widely respected for her philanthropic endeavors and crisp Hollywood image, stands to suffer immeasurable damage if proven that she used a legitimate movement to gain leverage on a film project. The public has grown more sensitive to performative activism, situations where celebrities champion a cause only when it benefits their personal aims. All this has fans caught in a swirl of emotions. Some still firmly believe in Blake's sincerity and suspect there might be long-standing issues with sexism or exploitation in showbiz that she dared to confront head-on. Others see Justin and Wayfarer as genuine creators who got blindsided by a cunning power play, orchestrated by a star leveraging her brand. The only certainty? This lawsuit is fueling intense arguments on social media, dominating gossip columns, and challenging Hollywood gatekeepers to consider the difference between protecting voices that speak up about real harm and sniffing out those who might exploit serious accusations for personal gain. So far, the judge's refusal to stall discovery means attorneys on both sides are sifting through every email and text message for anything that might crack the case wide open. The depositions, where key players will answer questions under oath, loom large on the horizon. Insiders predict these depositions could yield moments of high drama, potentially showcasing raw emotion or revealing behind-the-scenes truths that no PR spin can gloss over. Meanwhile, rumor mills churn about potential settlement talks. Big studios and big stars alike often prefer to handle controversies quietly, away from public courtrooms. Yet with how far this conflict has escalated, many doubt an off-the-record deal is possible unless one side truly decides the risk of trial is too great. And with the possibility of a massive reputational meltdown or enormous payout, neither side appears eager to fold. Some legal experts think the judge might, at minimum, allow Justin's team to amend the complaint if it's lacking in any minor technical detail. That's another sign the case won't vanish easily. If anything, it might snowball into something bigger, especially when new evidence and depositions bring fresh revelations to light. And on Blake's side, if there's even a shred of truth to her harassment claims, the last place a powerful studio wants to be is cross-examining a prominent actress about sensitive workplace wrongdoing, especially in the #MeToo era. With every passing week, the public demands more answers. Which side is twisting the facts? Which side is telling the truth? Could they both be right about different aspects of the case? Hollywood watchers know that conflicts can sometimes reveal deeper systemic issues, like unspoken rules about creative credit, hush-hush agreements, or financial deals that rarely see the light of day. One thing's certain, as depositions begin and more evidence surfaces, we could witness a turning point that shifts how the industry handles internal disputes. When powerful forces collide in Hollywood, the fallout can be spectacular and sometimes terrifying. This legal saga involving Justin Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Leslie Sloan has already shaken entertainment circles to their core. On one hand, there's the possibility that someone dared to weaponize serious harassment allegations in a cunning bid for power. On the other hand, there's the possibility that real misconduct did occur, and the alleged victims were left with no choice but to speak up or walk away. Ultimately, this case isn't just about one film or a handful of stars. It's about where we draw the line between protecting legitimate claims of wrongdoing and punishing individuals who might orchestrate threats for personal gain. It's about how far some might go to keep their image clean, and how a single judge's decision can ripple through an entire industry, sending a message that no one, regardless of wealth or fame, is above scrutiny. As the battle grinds on, it forces us to question what justice really looks like in a place where reputations are currency and power trades hands as easily as movie rights. Will the evidence confirm wrongdoing, or prove that well-crafted allegations can sometimes mask deeper motives? The next few months, or even years, may unravel secrets bigger than any Hollywood script. Stay tuned, because in this story, the final act has yet to be written. And remember, in an industry built on performances, sometimes the biggest twists happen when the cameras stop rolling and the real drama begins.